Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to Miami Total Football. We're here on the Friday night at Drive Pink Stadium in Fort Lauderdale after a pretty dreadful display from Inter Miami. Their unbeaten run comes to an end, and it does so with a 4-0 defeat at the hands of the New York Red Bulls. And it was a poor performance from start to finish. As poor as the scoreline indicates, Inter Miami was dominated in this one, practically from the first whistle, or definitely from the first whistle, and they even go down to 10 men in the 38th minute when Nicolas Figal picks up his second bookable offense, his second yellow card. He's sent for an early shower, and that really doomed Inter Miami, although they were already down 2-0 from there, and they were getting outplayed, out-hustled, and pressured into oblivion pretty much because, again, just the overall performance was not good, and that's what led to the defeat.
Ultimately, we got to take responsibility as manager. Probably picked the wrong team in terms of the amount of freshness that we put in the team. It was obviously we looked leggy, we looked fatigued at the end of a really tough week, and I take responsibility for that. But ultimately, we've still got to do better in the game.
Now, look, I think fatigue did play a part in this one for Inter Miami. They're an older team compared to the New York Red Bulls, whereas the New York Red Bulls have a much younger side, a side that has more energy and more capabilities to just run about and cause you pressure. That's their MO, that's their style. Run about, press for 90 minutes, try to cause turnovers and win 50-50s and second balls. And they did a lot of that against an Inter Miami team that just didn't match that intensity from, again, the opening whistle. But the fatigue factor can't just be the only reason for this defeat, because the New York Red Bulls had also played the same amount of games over the same amount of time in the last week as Inter Miami. This was the New York Red Bulls' third game in that stretch, and they had 2 away games, so they've traveled twice. So it kind of offsets, at least to me, that kind of offsets how much energy they have. But again, have to take into consideration the makeup of the rosters. New York Red Bulls much younger and energetic, Inter Miami a little bit more older and experienced, so that could be a reason. But I also have to say that I think this performance is just a continuation, albeit not on the defensive side, but with the ball, is a continuation of what we've seen from Inter Miami in recent performances, in recent games. Because if you go back and look, Inter Miami's performance levels as a collective, bar the defense, have dipped pretty significantly. When's the last time Inter Miami had a good game? It was probably that match against Toronto FC in August, the 3-1 victory for Inter Miami. But since then, it hasn't been that great. The results have said something else because Inter Miami's found ways to win games, but they've been kind of squeaking them out and sneaking them out. They haven't really been stamping their authority, dictating tempo, putting the game on their terms. It's been pretty subpar from a performance level standpoint. Now, obviously, the results are what matter most at the end of the day, but the thought process is to give yourself the best chance to win, you have to play well. And Inter Miami has not been playing well for several games now. If you go back and look at the most recent games, the game against FC Cincinnati, they win off a 90th minute goal in a game that was pretty blah and subpar overall. Then after that, in the game here at Drive Pink Stadium against the Columbus Crew, Inter Miami wins off of an errant back pass that Gonzalo Higuain picks off. And then in Toronto, Inter Miami was outplayed. Inter Miami, with a man advantage, was outplayed in that second half, and they win off of a penalty kick in the 95th minute. Look, there's merit to finding ways to win games that you don't play your best in, and Inter Miami has been doing that, but the performance levels have left a lot to be desired. And I think in this one, it kind of also came back to haunt them. Sure, there was probably some tired legs, some tired minds that went into all of some of the mistakes, but performance levels haven't been great for a while. That has to be corrected, especially after a game like this and with so few games remaining in the season.
You have to train hard, like we did this past months, and keep believe in our team, and believe in we can go to the playoff. That is the goals of the teams.
Something else that I think needs to be discussed that I wrote earlier this week for Miami Total Football Substack that I think deserves some inspection is that Gonzalo Higuain and Rodolfo Pizarro just do not seem to really click on the field. That doesn't mean that they have problems off the field, nothing of the like. I'm not saying anything like that, but I'm saying that on the field, they just don't seem to have that chemistry. If you look at the stats, I think they back it up because they've only combined directly for 1 goal this season. And that was against Toronto FC when Gonzalo Higuain feeds Rodolfo Pizarro in the penalty area, and it was the opening goal in that one. Besides that, the two DPs, the two attacking designated players, haven't combined directly for a goal. And I think that is concerning because normally in MLS, you need your number 10 and your number 9 to be on the same page to really be able to reach your ceiling. Inter Miami is not getting that right now. I'm not sure how they go about fixing that. They've tried different formations. They've tried to put Pizarro in different spots, but they just don't seem to connect. And sometimes they actually even take up the same spaces on the field and kind of practically mark each other. So something that has to be looked at by Phil Neville and the coaching staff. But of course, they also have to get back to being defensively sound, which maybe they will. Maybe this was just a one-off for the defense, because the Red Bulls were making it very chaotic for them. Even throw-ins were causing the Inter Miami problems. It leads to 1 goal, the second goal from Omir Fernandez. So a lot of things for Inter Miami to address ahead of this next game.
Well, I think we're going to allow them 24 hours to feel sorry for themselves, and on Sunday morning when we're back in training, we've got to get back at it. We're going to get back on the treadmill and work and run and fight even harder than what we did tonight. It's hopefully it's a one-off. We've had moments like this in this season where we've had these types of performances, but I'm sure that this is just a one-off because of the fact that we've been on such a good run. The confidence is high. We've got momentum. There's going to be plenty of twists and turns left in this season, and it's a reality check for us all to keep our feet on the ground, for our supporters to keep our feet on the ground, for everybody in the club to keep their feet on the ground. That we've still got a lot of work to do, and nobody's just going to come and hand us a playoff place without us working really hard. And we're going into the home straight, and we're in a really, really good position to attack the home straight. We just need to be mentally ready now and mentally fresh.
Now, one last thing to touch on here is that Inter Miami is going to have to figure out how to replace the suspended Leandro Gonzalez-Pires and Nicolas Figal. Leandro Gonzalez-Pires will be out for the game against Nashville due to yellow card accumulation. Nicolas Figal, obviously, because of the sending off here. So it's going to take some creativity there from Phil Neville. Seemed like he was already starting to think about some possibilities and what makeshift players he could put there. Because after the game, he said, we might have to put someone back there that has never played the position and that might never again play the position. So seems like he's starting to assess who could be there. Now, does he stick with a 5-man backline against Nashville SC to try to keep that defensive solidity, or does he revert to 4 given the lack of personnel? It's going to be an interesting decision from Phil Neville. It'll be a big one. If he goes with 5 at the back, I think you'll see Kelvin Leerdam go into one of the center back spots, as well as maybe someone like Blaise Matuidi, or even maybe Brek Shea, with Kieran Gibbs probably coming back into the fold, that left wing back. That's what I've heard, that he's on the mend. He's ready to return as soon as possibly next Wednesday. So interesting decisions there from Phil Neville. We'll see what he does, but clearly it's going to have to take some thinking, especially since both Ventura Alvarado and Ryan Shawcross remain out with injuries, and as Phil Neville said, tonight they'll be out for the foreseeable future.
We're going to have to make sure that we have players that are ready to do a job that they've probably never done before, or maybe will never do again. But that's something that we'll deal with tomorrow.
But that about does it for now. What did you think of Inter Miami's 4-0 loss to the New York Red Bulls? Do you chalk it up to just being a one-off due to the tired legs? Do you agree with Phil Neville in that sense? Or, like me, are you a bit more concerned given the collective dip in performance levels as of late? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, let me know what you think about the understanding and chemistry between Gonzalo Higuain and Rodolfo Pizarro. If you think that they can get on the same page, or if you think that their lack of chemistry and understanding on the field with one another is really impacting and hurting the attack and the team. Also, let me know what you think Phil Neville should do with the backline in this next game against Nashville SC on Wednesday night. Should he stay with a 5-man backline, or should he switch to a 4-man backline? Who should he replace, or who should he go with if he wants to go with either one? Does he go with someone like Blaise Matuidi, Kelvin Leerdam? Again, let me know your thoughts, and we'll be back again in a matter of days for more post-game coverage of this one and pre-game coverage of the next game against Nashville SC. Don't forget to like, comment, and share, and subscribe as well. I am Franco Panizo. This is Miami Total Football, and we'll see you guys again very soon.